So, in this video, I'm here to tell a story. And I call it a story because it doesn't particularly matter. In the long run, things that we draw in a particular moment are kind of what we feel in that particular moment, and our lives move on eventually. um, and I've picked up this style when I was out there in LA. At my mom's about a week or two ago. I was there for 3 weeks, and I was taking pictures, and I had messed around with it, turned it upside down, and looked at it in different ways, and I found some inspiration, and it really influenced my art style. And I'm kind of going to be sharing my perspective of what's been going on in the media through what I'm drawing here. So there's been a lot of talk about France and Paris and all that stuff, concerning attacks and all that. And there's been a sense of community with people and the media and how they react to what's been happening. And a lot of people like to call it support by changing their online identities into France colors. So my point is that I just find it funny how people like to call it support, condolences, whatever it may be, yet there's so many other things going on in the world, and we don't see any kind of support. If it is really support, I mean, in my opinion, it's just awareness. Just kind of like cancer. You know, there's a lot of word out there about breast cancer awareness, but you don't see other cancers being promoted. Well, not to say promoted, but displayed in the world, you know. And I feel if people, not to say that it's dishonest of their care about what's happening, but I feel if people would actually really want to make change and help out with causes in the world, I feel that they would be more particularly involved in what's going on in the world instead of reflecting off of something that was shown in the media and give it about a month or two, and a New Year's Eve, it's going to be all forgotten about, just like all the other killings that have occurred and been publicized throughout the media. For instance, that Batman shooting, Columbine back in '99, all these other killings that have occurred and have, in a way, been forgotten and just kind of put in the attic, in a way. So I'm pretty much just making this drawing as an expression of the way that I see kind of what's happening and what I feel is a sincerity to this particular turn of events that has occurred. Now, what I'm expressing here is the American way isn't particularly nationality based. People are called black, not African. People are called white, not European. And some people are called brown and not Mexican or Brazilian or whatever that case may be. And I like to call it a pack of crayons, like Crayola crayons. That's what America reminds me of, considering we don't really call each other by what our bloodline is. More so what our color of our skin is, more likely. So basically what this represents is the many different kinds of people, and I'm not saying there's green people and blue people and red people, but it goes to just show that there's a variety of people on this planet, and we all bleed in a way. We all die, we all have these particular attacks and struggles and diseases and problems, and then you have your ups and downs and your great times and things that just happen and occur that are great. And the media doesn't cover all of it, but like I said, if you really do care and you're really active on such kind of a topic, don't just make it a 2 week thing, really show your support and actually be involved with causes instead of just saying that you're sorry for something that you didn't do. It's kind of a lack of sincerity. I kind of get the same impression when somebody congratulates somebody, but doesn't really have anything to do with it. There's kind of a less sincerity. Although it is courteous, I rather be congratulated by somebody who understands what I'm going through instead of just some simple little thing that doesn't really matter, that doesn't really make a real difference in the tragedy that has occurred. And just another point to be made, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be in a way sympathetic or involved with what's going on in any magnitude in which you do it, but I'm just saying, there's a lot going on out there, and just because the media doesn't expose everything doesn't mean that you have to be ignorant by ignoring the fact that there's other stuff out there. Just research and be involved. Don't wait for the media just to tell you what's going on. With that being said, I kind of feel like what's been going on and the way that people are reacting to what's going on is kind of a trend, and it's not particularly like a fashion trend, of course, because it's an event and everyone's paying attention to it at the moment, but it's just a trend that everyone's aware of it, everyone's reacting to it in the way that they are, but it's just going to be forgotten, and matters likewise everywhere else in the world, it's not going to get any kind of attention. And things like this happen all the time, and we only hear about it when the media exposes it. And that's what I kind of feel is a bit bothersome in a way, personally, but like I say, it's better to not get involved with things that are irrelevant, that don't really have anything to do with you. But like I said, this is a story, and I've kind of gotten involved with all the exposure that's been going on online, and kind of voicing myself the same way that I am doing now. And I had mentioned that I would make a drawing inspired by the event and the way that people are reacting to it and my feelings towards that. Kind of taking me out of my zone, but I don't mind it because it's inspiring, and it has brought me here to make this video to demonstrate what I've been up to lately, so I'm using this as an update as well. This isn't exactly graffiti, it's kind of a mess, but basically getting back to my point in which I'm trying to display here is that we're all people, and we're all, in a sense, our own race and our own color, and everybody bleeds, everybody dies, no matter if it's on media or not. It should all be cared for equally, I feel, And just because it wasn't portrayed on the media doesn't mean, or it doesn't really give you an excuse to say, oh, well, I didn't know about it, so how can I give any kind of concern or care for it? If you really cared, you would actually be involved with the matter, in a sense, be educated by what's going on. And that's why I kind of feel as a trend, just like the rest of the deaths and massacres and all the other events likewise. So I'm pretty much just gonna finish this up here, and kind of what these slashes or insertions kind of represent. It's kind of a painful thing. It doesn't really look painful right now until you add a little red, because like I said, everybody bleeds. So give it a nice red tone to represent the blood that all of us colors have, and that it's not just a particular race. And when there's a particular trend that occurs, everybody opens up their eyes to it, but don't really look beyond what the media exposes. And that's why in the beginning of the video I called it ignorant, is because we don't really know what's going on. We weren't there to say what's what. There could be millions of different stories out there of what actually went on. But yeah, just show some actual support of what's happening. It's kind of like the metaphor that I gave it was, it's kind of like a band. Everyone heard of Metallica, and a lot of people buy their records, and especially back when CDs were hot and the digital age didn't take over. But the point is that Metallica has a lot of exposure, but there's so many other greater bands. Not to say greater, it's not a competition, but there's so many other great bands that deserve just as the same amount of credit as they do, regardless if people think that they pioneered it or not, the genre. Everybody deserves credit because they're all musicians and they all create excellent work, but not everybody gets the same kind of exposure and credit that they do. And I feel it's, as I say, it's metaphorically speaking, I feel it's the same way with what has happened. And once again, I'm not trying to discredit sympathy or whatever people feel for whatever has happened, but there's a lot of other people that need that love too. And like I said, if people really cared, they'd look into, metaphorically, the genre of music that Metallica play and give everybody credit for what they do, or for all the people that die for whatever the cause may be. So with that being said, this drawing I feel has become a bit more clarified, and I find it kind of interesting to draw it out instead of just draw it and show a picture of it. Kind of gives you more of a story of what's going on. It's kind of like a song with lyrics, but it's a picture with my perspective of what I see. So yeah, this is my new art style, not essentially graffiti. I don't have any letters put in here, and that's what's funny. People look at my stuff and they say, "Oh, what does that say?" Or something like that. I was like, "There's no words in it intentionally, but whatever you see, let me know what's up." We all see things differently, of course, and this is my perspective on the matter, and I've been voicing it quite often today. I've been seeing it ever since I woke up. And then I was at my friend's house today, playing some games. And had some good old fun over there. Haven't been there in a while. And this was kind of brewing in my mind to do. This picture, and I've told a couple people that I'd do a picture, and it was inspired by the recent events. So here we go, there, there. I don't like to draw anything too direct, just because this represents death. I don't have to really draw skulls or anything like that, but there is, in a sense, cuts and blood and pretty gory image here. We could add a little black there, because how I like to call it, the black is kind of like the subconscious, and the white is the awakening. And the color, when there's black, when your eyes are shut, when there's color, it's imagination. And for the most part, it comes through so clear when we dream. And then when there's whiteness, when we're awake, there's light. And the color in that light is our waking experience. So why I'm using black here is to represent the subconscious that is after death. Which is particularly why dark is a more evil color, even though it doesn't essentially have to be evil, because evil things happen in the sunlight as well. But yeah, so there we go, a little bit of there, a little bit of there, and that's it, just about. Give it some border, some form. Doesn't really need border because I don't like to limit things, but it's not just at one place, it's everywhere. And I don't exactly know how to express it, but I'm gonna try it right here, to show that everybody needs a shot of having the words spread out, escaped, and heard in a way. And at the same time, if people really cared, they would listen to what everybody has to say. And for the most part, that doesn't happen too often, because you only hear about it from other people when it becomes a story on Channel 5 or Channel 4 or whatever the news is. I don't watch it. So, well, I kind of do, the local news. You hear about dogs and shit, and some fight at a bar, and this place is closing, and this person stabbed this person, or there was a wreck here, and then you have the internet telling you other things. Hopefully you can break through those barriers there and get things out. And I'm kind of Bob Rossing it right now, and I actually accidentally missed a color that I even said. I didn't add any brown to this. What am I, racist? Oh my god. I forgot the browns. No Cleveland's here. Oh man. But I did remember the reds, and I did remember the blues for those who have the blues. We're gonna break through those barriers. Gotta be careful with the yellow Sharpies, because these damn things are so sensitive. You get a little smudge of dirt on it, you end up mopping your paper with muck. So let me add some brown in these little spaces here. There we go, that'll work, that'll do some tricks. Add some shapes, some form. We're all different shapes and sizes, and we all stand from a different point of view. Let's get that brown word out. On a side note, I had some tacos, I think, a couple days ago, or maybe it was yesterday. And there was some beef, and I had a bite of this particular piece, and I was not digging it at all. So I kind of just took it all out and had a lettuce and tomato taco, and that shit was fucking great. And that's pretty much the way that I plan on eating my tacos from now on. It's just lettuce and tomato, maybe some avocado, no cheese, no meats. I don't really like that stuff. That's how I eat my burritos. Just rice and beans. No cheese. No meats. It's all good. And that just about sums it up. And for everybody who knows me, I like to sign myself as Mr. ATR. There we go. Oh, yeah, you guys seen that. Okay, we're good. Alright, and we're just about done. No need for title. You guys heard the story. I don't know what you see in this, but I know that I shared my 1,000 words about it. And I'll leave it with that. And I will see you guys never, because we don't Skype. But if I follow you back on this YouTube universe, then that would be great. But a lot of people don't make videos, so I can't do that. But if you'd like, just send me a message and we could contact through that. And that should do it. Alright, that is too dark. There we go. Alright, cool. So, till later. Peace.